People who shockingly survived the impossible. Many people around the world have survived close calls with death, but some stand out so much more than others. For example, a young man whose quick reflexes prevented him from being crushed by trees, and another who managed to escape the bottom of a crushed bus. Both have stories that will leave you reeling in shock because you simply can't believe it. Welcome to Best Wonders, where today we'll be showing you people who shockingly survived the impossible. But before we continue, be sure to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you get more videos like this. Now, let's move on to the video. Man attacked by a boulder. The surroundings of the city of Taipei are renowned for their tall trees and breathtaking views, but this driver was undoubtedly not in the mood to take in the breathtaking views. This picturesque landscape became a deadly trap in August 2013 as a result of stormy weather. When the rush of debris struck the car, it appeared to come out of nowhere as the driver was moving along the road. The man was compelled to move his car to the side as a result, but that wasn't all. A large boulder crossed the road a short time later and landed directly where his car had been just before the rush of debris. I appreciate it, Mother Nature. Smith Simon. Smith Simon received the shock of his life while traveling home from the bank. Early that morning, the 53-year-old man was crossing the street when a nearby CCTV camera caught his close call with death. When a bus that had lost control suddenly plowed into the unfortunate man as he was crossing the street, everyone watching was shocked. Smith immediately got to his feet and ran into a bar called the Purple Turtle Bar. Surprisingly, he made it through with only a few scrapes and bruises. Flores's daughter. Shock was evident on the faces of everyone who saw the episode involving her father and his daughter. A 45-year-old guy and his 5-year-old kid appeared at the New York City subway station in September 2019 while walking side by side. As the train drew nearer, this man astonished the audience by leaping onto the rail. Interestingly though, his small daughter survived even though he was pulling her along. Unfortunately, Flores was killed instantaneously as he was crushed by the train. The tiny girl was eventually persuaded by rescuers to crawl her way out from underneath the subway, where she was brought to safety. A mother's luck. There's almost nothing more refreshing than unwinding by the pool while reading a good book, or at least that was what this mother thought. A Georgian mother received the complete opposite of this in July 2020. She was relaxing with her children next to a pool when she heard her son shouting, so she went outside to find out what was going on. But at that precise second, a huge tree crashed down where she had been only moments earlier. This mother would have been killed by the falling tree if she had arrived even a fraction of a second too late. Erin Langworthy. While trying new things can be enjoyable, it can also be risky. On December 31, 2011, Erin Langworthy discovered this lesson for herself. While on a safari, Erin took advantage of bungee jumping over the Zambezi River at Victoria Falls, which is home to a significant number of Nile crocodiles. A guide assisted Erin in assuming the proper posture, with her arms outstretched at her sides as she got ready to jump. She was knocked off the platform by the guide, who then sent her flying over the river. The jump was proceeding normally until Erin's bungee cord abruptly snapped, sending her tumbling into the river below. Before reaching the river, she plunged 360 feet. Even in the turbulent currents of the river, Erin managed to maintain her composure. She exhaled bubbles and followed them to the surface, but she was still held under the water by a portion of the bungee cord that was still fastened to her, and her legs were still bound together by the cord. In order to pull the rope free, she had to turn away from the surface. After that, she swam for the surface. Erin fought for her life in the river for a total of 40 minutes before she was finally rescued at the riverbank. Erin was taken to a hospital in Victoria Falls after miraculously avoiding her fall, and she has since made a full recovery. Casey Wagner. They claim that lightning never strikes the same place twice, but Casey Wagner might disagree. The 31-year-old man was in Texas in October 2013 for an off-road competition when he observed the clouds turning gray and a number of other warning signs of impending precipitation. Casey quickly made the decision to find cover under a tree while he waited for his friend, who left right away. Sadly, he was unaware that this action would have resulted to his death. He saw the lightning strikes on the tree too late and was already in the air when he was struck by lightning. Before he could catch his breath, more lightning struck, leaving him nearly helpless. Charlottetta William and her son. Being caught in a storm can be terrifying, and for this family, it most certainly was. In 2017, while watching television, Charlottetta William and her son Ricky heard a loud storm approaching. Ricky immediately helped his mother climb the stairs to their bathtub, one of the safest places to be during natural disasters. The storm tore off their roof like a tornado, but the bathtub held up, which was amazing. They were lifted into the air by the tornado along with other pieces of furniture until they safely returned to the ground with only a few scrapes and bruises to serve as a memento of that terrifying moment. Nissan driver. If you are familiar with the way the Grim Reaper operates in the film Final Destination, you will undoubtedly recognize this situation. In October 2019, an unidentified driver of a 2003 Nissan Xterra had a startling close call with death when he came face to face with advancing logs in Georgia. A truck full of logs passed in front of his car, and as he reached down for a cup of coffee, the logs flew toward his windscreen. Fortunately, this driver is still alive. Hablia Abu Abdullah. An Arab engineer named Hablia Adu Abdullah has an experience in October 2020 that he would never forget in a million years. The entire building collapsed on the man as he was making his way to his car, which he had earlier parked in a lot. He must have sensed something was off because he turned around and ran back up the stairs. Hablia must have been relieved when he listened to his instincts in time to avoid being crushed by the roof and floors. Definitely a narrow escape worth discussing. Jelani Reyes Craig. In September 2019, 28-year-old Jelani Reyes Craig and his sports car were involved in a horrifying collision. His sports car was crushed when a large truck slammed into it, its massive body crushing it. Anyone who caught a glimpse of this incident, including members of the fire department, came to the conclusion that it was too terrifying for anyone to have survived. But everyone was shocked to see Jelani escape from his wrecked sports car. How did he accomplish it? Well, the courageous man managed to unbuckle himself from the driver's seat in time to switch to the passenger seat. When he attempted to unbuckle his seatbelt, Jelani only sustained a small cut on his hand and a missing tooth as a result of this freak accident. Cooper Ron. Regardless of your level of driving expertise, this event taught us that even the seemingly impossible is capable of being accomplished. 2014 saw this driver caught in what appeared to be a chaotic storm on Melbourne's roadways. His dashcam video captured him fighting an absurd struggle with trees that were wildly swaying from side to side until some of them toppled immediately in front of his car. Fortunately for Cooper, his reflexes sprang into high gear and his car narrowly avoided hitting the trees. The good news is that additional vehicles also managed to stop just in time to prevent multiple casualties. Taylor the motorcyclist. Taylor was riding a motorcycle when he was struck by a speeding car, which caused the motorcycle to flip over. 2015 saw a brutal accident at the intersection due to the car's driver in San Francisco running a red light. Taylor was fortunate to be wearing his full protective equipment, which kept him safe despite the poor condition of his motorcycle. Cilliers Victoria. Cilliers Victoria, an experienced skydiver who had been in numerous successful flights over the years, went on one on Easter Sunday in 2015 that ended up being very different from what she'd anticipated. She was completely unaware that her husband Emil had devised a strategy to destroy her parachute. During the skydiving exercise, she attempted to land safely but soon recognized that a necessary element was lacking. At this point, Celia recognized that both her parachute and the backup parachute were inoperable. Any other individual would not have survived such an accident when she crash landed, but by a stroke of luck, she did. After some time, the police discovered that Emil was having an affair, and they decided to murder Cilliers to collect her life insurance. Ruhi Mahamudsa, a football player from South Africa, was involved in one of the worst traffic collisions in recorded history. The player's car lost control in March 2014 while he was traveling down the highway due to the wet road. At the end of the road, a guardrail stabbed Rui's car, piercing the windscreen in the process. Surprisingly, it barely missed the player by a few inches, and he was unharmed. Driver on Chongqing Road. Witnesses who have survived something similar have many questions, but almost no answers. This unnamed driver was traveling down the Chongqing Road when a large blade appeared suddenly and swinging. When they arrived on the scene, the police later explained that the blade had come hurtling toward the unidentified driver from a truck that had been crushed a few miles away. He was unharmed during the incident, but his vehicle was not so lucky. Do you have any near-death experiences such as the ones on this list? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell for more of the world's best wonders.